We can reveal structural issues. You know, sometimes people don't perform well because they can't. Because there's the way the system, you know, like there's a company where a project, in order to manage it, 3 people have to agree on the next step. All right? And they're not only that, these 3 people have to agree to make the next steps. This is a matrix management system that this company has come up with. And one of them is the lead, and he has to have the other 2 agree, you know, to make this work. Well, not only that, but these other 2 guys are traveling. So here this poor manager is with this responsibility for managing this matrix with really no way of succeeding. Structurally, he's not going to be able to get the kind of, it's not appropriate. The structure that the organizational leaders created is not appropriate for the kind of problem they're trying to solve. And we do these things with the best of intentions. Our mind self has the greatest idea, it's a brilliant idea. When you put it in practice on the embodied form, well, wait a minute, this guy's in a plane, I can't talk to him right now, but I need to make a decision because the contractor is waiting. You know, yeah. The reality of things is different. And so often we try to manage from the mind without being able to engage the rest of the system in that conversation. How do we manage a whole system? More and more, I'm glad I have a very small company, because more and more executives and leaders are being tasked with managing hugely complex systems without necessarily having systemic tools. You know, metrics are great if they're the right metric and at the right time. So often managers are left to lead, and an organization, or business owners are left to lead an organization without the kind of systemic view, not only of their organization, but their organization in relationship with their customers, with their vendors, with their competitors, that would enable them to make the best decisions. They simply lack any way to get that view. And that is one of the things that the systemic constellation work provides.
Is that one of the most common challenges that you're presented with? Is people like, it's just too big? You know,
it's not so much that it's too big, it's more a matter of complexity.
Yeah.
And ideas that don't match the embodied reality. So we often have ideas, like for example, one of the popular things that worked great for GE was this idea of rack and stack, where you have so many dollars to spend and you have the manager's rack rate and stack, you know, and that dollars goes to the top performers and the bottom gets cut off. For certain organizations that worked great, but when that idea was grafted onto, for example, a high-tech company, where that company needed collaboration and sharing of ideas, free sharing of ideas, that competitive model, that idea, didn't match the embodied lived culture and the needs of that organization, and instead caused the organization to fail. They lost key people, they lost the middle folks that do the daily work. Some of the star performers did really well, but then they didn't have loyalty anymore because they were based in this collaborative sharing environment, and now it was competitive and not such a nice place to work, and they left. So it's those kinds of idea, you know, so this is what happens if we let the mind loose and we don't anchor it to the real embodied practices, the daily praxis of how people interact in an organization. The place where we know that is in our gut and our heart. And this is the part that we have to bring into the conversation for executives and business owners to manage wisely.